I rise today joined by my friend and colleague from Rhode Island, Senator Reid, in supporting the nomination of Dr. Ash Carter to be Secretary of Defense. I am confident that Senator Reid and I feel that we've had a very good nomination hearing and that Dr. Carter is qualified to be the Secretary of Defense. I've known Dr. Carter for many years during his lengthy service in Washington. He is one of America's most experienced defense professionals, respected by Republicans and Democrats alike. He has served as Assistant Secretary of Defense for Global Strategic Affairs, Under Secretary of Defense for Acquisition, Technology, and Logistics, and most recently as Deputy Secretary of Defense. In these positions, I have known him to be an honest, hardworking, and committed public servant. I've had the opportunity to work together with Dr. Carter on several issues of shared concern, especially those trying to reform the defense acquisition system, improving financial management of the deployment, and repealing and rolling back sequestration. I was also pleased to hear Dr. Carter explain his views on a number of critical national security issues at his confirmation hearing earlier this month. On Afghanistan, Dr. Carter told the committee he would consider revisions to the size and pace of the president's drawdown plan if security conditions warranted. To achieve the success that is possible there, he urged the United States to, quote, continue its campaign and finish the job. Dr. Carter indicated he's very much inclined in the direction of providing defensive lethal arms to help Ukraine resist Russian aggression. He pledged to do more to streamline and improve the defense acquisition system that takes too long and costs too much. And Dr. Carter agreed it's time to roll back sequestration because, as in his words, it introduces turbulence and uncertainty that are wasteful, and it conveys a misleadingly diminished picture of our power in the eyes of friends and foes alike. America is confronted today with a diverse and complex range of national security challenges: a revisionist Russia, a rising China, and radical Islamist groups, each seeking in their own way to fundamentally challenge the international order as we've known it since the end of World War II, a system that cherishes the rule of law, maintains free markets and free trade, and relegates wars of aggression to their rightful place in the bloody past. Mr. President, we need a coherent national security strategy incorporating all elements of America's national power to sustain and defend the international order that has produced and extended security, prosperity, and liberty across the globe. We need to stop holding our military hostage to domestic political disputes and send an unmistakable message to friend and foe alike that America intends to lead in the 21st century by repealing sequestration immediately. We need to reform our defense acquisition system to restore confidence that every defense dollar is spent well and to ensure that the men and women in uniform are getting the training and equipment they need on time and at a cost acceptable to the taxpayer. That's why America needs a strong Secretary of Defense now more than ever. I think Dr. Carter will be a good Secretary of Defense who will always keep faith with our men and women in uniform and work tirelessly on their behalf and that of our national security. I'm hopeful about the prospects of working together with Dr. Carter, along with my colleagues in the Senate Armed Services on both sides of the aisle, to achieve our shared priorities, especially the reform of our defense acquisition system, the modernization of our military compensation system, and the repeal of sequestration. But when it comes to much of our national security policy, I must candidly express concern about the task that awaits Dr. Carter and the limited influence he may have. Two of his predecessors, Secretary Gates and Secretary Panetta, have severely criticized White House micromanagement of the Defense Department and over-centralization of foreign and defense policies. And according to numerous news reports, Secretary Hagel experienced similar frustrations with the insular and indecisive White House National Security Team over issues ranging from ISIL to Ukraine, detention policy to sequestration. Dr. Carter is a worthy choice for Secretary of Defense. He has the experience, knowledge, and skill to succeed. The Armed Services Committee voted unanimously to approve his nomination last week, and I will gladly vote to confirm him today. I do so with sincere hope and, sadly, little confidence that the President who nominated Dr. Carter will empower him to lead and contribute to the fullest extent of his abilities. Because at a time of global upheaval and multiplying threats to our security, the American people need and deserve nothing less. I want to thank my colleague from Rhode Island for his cooperation and coordination with the hearing and with his input and influence, which led to a unanimous vote from the committee. Mr. President, I yield the floor.